loves, welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I will be reviewing the Colourpop Fade into Hue palette. And so I actually did use this palette for my current eyeshadow look. I will have that video linked for you guys. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, it is a beautiful multi-pastel pressed powder kit. There is a nice mix of matte colors, shimmers, foiled colors, as well as chunky glitter shades. So when I initially saw this palette, I knew that I had to get my hands on it because of how many pastels were in this palette. This palette retails for $34. I did get it on sale during the Black Friday sort of sale that they were doing on the Colourpop website. So there are a total of 30 shades in this palette, as you can see. So honestly, that's like $1 a shade, which is not bad at all. And I mean, as you can see, the size of the individual shades is actually really nice as well. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say probably like an inch, give or take, or maybe a little bit less than an inch for each shade. So honestly, again, for the price point, I definitely feel like that was something I could not pass up on. So to give you guys some of the pros about this palette and what I love about it and what I like about it is, outside of the assortment, I love the attention to detail that they gave to this palette. And when I say that, I love how they selected which colors were going to be mattes and which colors were going to be shimmers and which colors were going to be glitters, because I feel like based on that, you are really able to build up these colors and utilize them together very easily. So that's actually what I did for this look. If you look at the two glitter shades here, as well as this blue one, they look like actual shades, but they're really just more so glitter that you can apply over the other shades as well. And so that's something that I really love about it, because I like that you're able to just combine effortlessly the colors within this palette and create really beautiful, effortless looks. I also love the quality of the foiled shades, so this sort of like peach color here, as well as this bluish metallic shade here, as well as this green shade here. I also love the quality of the foiled shades because they are super creamy, really rich, and honestly glide on like butter. Like, I absolutely adore that. I honestly cannot keep my hands off of this peach shade right here. That is something that I think is really great as well. It's just like how easy some of the shades apply to the eye. And then I also really love the chunky glitter. So honestly, I would have loved if they would have given a chunky glitter for each shade, because I just feel like for the quality of the chunky glitters and for the price, like, it's a steal as is, but I really wish they would have provided more, just because I love the formula that they used for the chunky glitter shades, just because it's honestly almost like a gel kind of consistency. And so because of that, you're able to apply it directly to the eye without any sort of adhesive. One thing that's also really nice too, there are some shades that have glitter in them, but honestly apply like a matte. So I feel like that's kind of like a bonus, because some of them I wish were mattes, and so when I actually applied them, they look like matte basically. It's like matte with like a hint of glitter as opposed to being like a glittery shade. So that's a plus as well. I feel like is really nice, because you get more shades that behave as matte colors that you can, again, build up with the other shades in the palette and utilize honestly with other palettes that you already have. And then if you want that glittery aspect, you can go in with the actual glitter shades that are provided and just build those on top. I do also love the pigmentation, you guys. So literally a little bit goes a really long way with this palette. Like, each shade that I've used so far is just super buildable. Like, honestly, you're able to apply some of the color, blend it out, and if you feel like you've kind of lost that richness, just apply more of the color right on top and it will just continue to build out for you. That's something that I've always loved about Colourpop, and that's why whenever I'm searching for really bright colors, they tend to be my first go-to, because I know that I can always get the color payout that I'm looking for a good price as well. In terms of some of the things that I guess I would consider to be cons, so I will definitely say with this palette, there is a lot of fallout, you guys. A lot of fallout, particularly with the matte shades. And so that was something that I was not too pleased about, because when again you're building up colors, you're using a good portion of the pigment, but every time you tap it with your brush, like not even like dig into it, when you tap it with your brush, there's a lot of fallout. So that is something that I definitely want you guys to be mindful of as well. Another con I would definitely say about this palette is I had to play around with the colors a little bit when I first got it to figure out exactly what primers, what concealers it worked best with. With it being brighter colors, and of course, as a woman of color, I have to go on top of my primer usually with something that's a little bit brighter, or I have to use a brighter toned primer. So I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills primer just because that one appears almost like a creamy, like milky white shade, and really allowed me to get the color payout that I was looking for with these colors and allowed the colors to be as true as possible on my skin. But I do feel like I had to play around a little bit to figure out what sort of concealers and primers worked best with being able to blend out the colors. That was something that I did kind of struggle with, which caught me off guard because I have plenty of other Colourpop palettes. I have not had that issue before. It's actually been the opposite. I feel like Colourpop usually offers some of the easiest shades to blend out, like honestly, like super beginner friendly, just great all around, like high quality palettes. But for some reason, I feel like, and maybe it's the formula because the shades are mostly pastels, or, you know, I'm not entirely sure why, but I did feel like I did struggle for a little bit in terms of really getting those colors to come together until I found a primer that worked. So that is something that you guys might want to be mindful of as well. So loves, I did want to include the swatches in order in terms of how they appear in the palette. And this orange sort of like peach combination section is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I love how warm the colors are. The blue section is also one of my favorite sections for sure. Like, between that glittery turquoise shade and that really nice gel glitter, I am so excited. Like, I cannot wait, you guys, to use this palette some more. But honestly, you guys, I would say outside of those few things, I really don't have anything else negative to say about the palette. I think that, you know, in terms of if I would personally recommend the palette, I think for the price point, yes, I would. Honestly, if you are on the fence about this palette, guys, I would say maybe wait for another sale. I know that Colourpop has been doing a lot of sales recently, so I don't know if they're done for right now for the season or what. I definitely say give it a shot, you guys. But yeah, that's all I've got. So definitely let me know if you guys have this palette. If you do, let me know what looks you've created so far. Let me know what looks you may want to see from this palette. If you have any questions about anything in particular or about this look, definitely leave them down below for me, guys. If you found this video to be helpful, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you beauties in my next video. Bye.